Welcome to The Last Rites. This is a weird one from, I guess, comedy in inverted commas land. When Doug Stanhope sends a serious message, you know it probably is serious. Man who police say killed former father-in-law and tried to kill ex-wife found dead in woods. So, happy headline.
If you're in Alaska and you're out of the loop, you know Matt Becker, stay away from him. He's armed and he's already killed somebody, and he's got a long list of grudges. So if you see Matt Becker, call the police.
Yeah, obviously serious times. Listen, I barely know who Becker is. I know who's knocking around the Doug Stanhope extended universe a few years ago. I don't really follow it. I have no idea what's going on. But this is from Anchorage in Alaska. Matthew Thomas Becker, 61. First of all, the police put out an alert for him. Have you seen this man? He's armed and dangerous. Turns out he attempted to murder his ex-wife and I believe killed his ex-father-in-law. Is it an ex-father-in-law? I'm not sure about the terminology. So, been living in Arizona and owned a comedy club called Chuckleheads. And I nipped in Chuckleheads when I was in Bisbee a couple of years ago. He wasn't there. He was in Colombia at the time, probably on non-nefarious business, now what we know. And I drank a bunch of really, really cheap PBRs. I think they were $3 a can, so I think I gave $30. Can you buy a bullet for $30? Did I part fund this? I don't know. It's a couple of years ago. But I've been there in Bisbee, in Chuckleheads, and drank some beers and just looked about the place. He wasn't there. And then we went to the Shady Dell, I believe, that night. But, yeah, so I never met the guy. Didn't really know much about him. But when you do get a serious post from a guy like Stanhope, you know it's definitely serious. So, according to charging documents, Becker turned up at his ex-wife's hair salon in Anchorage Saturday morning. She was getting ready to open the business. She told police it seemed like someone had done something to the lock because she couldn't get inside. She recognised Becker in the car, who got out and started shooting at her as she ran for her life before he sped away. The woman told police she was worried about her older father, who lived with her in her home, and Becker went directly to the house on Alder Drive after the encounter with his ex-wife. Based on preliminary evidence, it appears the suspect went to the rear of the residence, fired a couple of rounds through a plate glass window, striking and killing the victim, and then fleeing the scene. I mean, listen, you kind of get it between ex-wives and husbands, right? But the father-in-law, what are we doing? The 87-year-old, what's that guy survived? A lot more than you or I, and he gets shot by a dick through a fucking plate glass window. But I believe, so he's been found with Becker's death. Case said the investigation is essentially over. Was a public in danger before. The APD did warn several people that he might have wanted to harm, but ultimately believed he wanted to hurt just the two family members. So what does it say? It was found at 10:24 a.m. in the woods in Eagle River. So a good outcome to a bad situation, I guess, although it's a sad outcome, isn't it? Really, I guess it's probably the best one that you could. And Chuckleheads did do a post on Instagram. Obviously, he owned the club; other people worked there and kind of created it and all the rest of it. You know, created the vibe in there. I only really knew it as a bar because there was no comedy on the night I went in there. I just popped in for a couple of beers and had some beers with a bunch of people, including Johnson. Tom Konopka bailed on us, and then we went and hung out with a couple of legendary comics after. But yeah, beautiful little town, Bisbee. Is this going to be the final sad end to that universe? I don't think so. When you've been hoovering up drugs and booze for 40 years and thinking it's still cool, someone's going to get a bullet, right, at some point. Anyway, but yeah, I thought it was a weird bit of news from the, in quote marks, comedy world. He owned a comedy club. Probably thought it was funny, and end in a sad way. That's how open mic of him, right? Anyway, take it easy. Please subscribe and all that good stuff. See you later, I suppose.